Diabetic is an intricate life. You never know what's going to happen. You're always on the lookout of what you need to do to balance yourself, whether it be with food or medications, and even with your way of life, including what you do on a day-to-day, basically how you keep yourself active, how do you keep yourself going. Um, so you always have to fight to strike a balance between everything you do, how you're doing, and the motivation to do it as well, because it takes a toll on you when you constantly have to be on the watch out, on the go, on the point, in order to maintain everything to a good level. Because with this disease, things can happen on an instant. Things can go out of out of directions in a split second. It doesn't take a long time. It could take just merely days for you to get thrown off. And once you're thrown off, if you don't watch, you can go downhill on a very quick pace. I'm going to talk to you about my story on how I got this disease, the beginnings of what I call my torture, yet focus life, because nothing but a complete focus has had to happen throughout my whole life for the past 28 some odd years since I was diagnosed with this disease. I love my babies. Um, I was diagnosed with diabetes. The doctors did indicate that that could go away as soon as I gave birth, and that there was a threat that it could come back later on in life, as it did. When Megan was about 2 years old, my diabetes came back, and it came full force, never left again. It was about 28, almost 29 years ago. I've been battling this disease since then, on and off, doing just about everything I could possibly imagine, balancing with my diets, medications, exercises, way of life, you name it, I've tried it all. It's a constant battle to do what I need to and have to do to try to maintain a good balance with this disease. Often than not, if it's just, with work, not eating right, or not having enough time to exercise, not having enough time to pay attention, you name it, can throw it off. One of the things that got me quite a bit throughout my experience with this disease is that, especially at the beginning, when they diagnose you with this disease, no doctor ever told me what it was, what to expect even. Yeah, there's the looming threat of any diabetic, and that you can literally find out by doing research, or parts of it the doctor kind of lets you know, and that's more for fear mongering. They let you know, with diabetes, if you don't take care of yourself, you can lose a leg, lose a foot, lose your fingers, lose your eyesight, have kidney disease, you name it, and they're very real threats. However, they don't go to the details of explaining to you what it is that is going on with you. For example, A1C. A1C is just a series of letters and a number. There's no definition of what it is. It wasn't until much later in my process that I found out what an A1C was. And I didn't quite fully understand what it really was until much later, as they're just trying to pump medicine down on you, metformin, you name it. They'll bring it down to you. And all those medications, they do play a very important part in your process. They don't solve the problem. They don't give you a treatment. They just maintain your disease. They don't solve the issues. So you have to not only medicate with the medications, follow the rules and guidelines that the doctors have given you to maintain, but you also have to do your due diligence to help yourself. A1C is the actual indication, the actual level of sugar inside of your system. And I had to find out the hard way on what it was and how to manage it. Once I finally understood what it was, it has been, I can't say easy, but it has been more manageable to control and mitigate a balance for this disease. It took me a while, and it's been quite elaborate work to get this to a good level where I can finally get some control of it. I have been able to maintain myself without any damages to my organs, but I have had series of problems that I've had to work with, and of late in the last 5 years or so has gone down, taken a drastic change for me where it's now demanding a more series of attention. Nothing new that it is not in part of a diabetic's life, and that is the reality that we all face dealing with this disease. My experiences with this disease has taught me so many things. How to be my own advocate, how to be my own doctor, how to reinvent anything and everything that gets thrown down my path, because not everything is as black and white as it seems. When you read something, you take it for what it is, you learn as much as you can from it, but you have to learn to apply it to yourself, because not what works for you will not work for me. So not everything is just as it's indicated. Even on instructions, even on medications, the doctors always have a tough time trying to adjust medications for each patient, because every patient is different. And just the same way as a medication will affect you one way, it would affect me differently. So you have different levels, different ways of reacting to it, different ways your body will absorb or accept or reject that medication. So it's always a constant roller coaster ride when it comes to that. My experiences with it has been always keep a positive attitude, always do the best that you can to try and mitigate and adjust things around you to get the best that you can out of it, so that way it doesn't limit you or prevent you from doing what you need to do or how you want to get it done. So I've had to learn to not only mitigate the medications and balancing my diets and exercises and my way of life, but throwing a balance to everything. In my experience, one of the major points for me, learning experience, has been that the sooner you educate yourself and the sooner you empower yourself to take management on your own hands, the better off you will be. Because majority of it, if you allow the doctors to just give you medication after medication and after medication and not mitigate yourself around, when you come to see the reality of things, you're already too absorbed into just taking medications. And the medications, as I say, just help you manage, but they don't cure the disease. So you sit there trying to organize yourself and try to, and you're thinking that the medication is going to solve the problem, when in fact it just leads to more problems, because the medication, though it will help you solve an issue or one problem, but at the same time it can cause another problem, degradation of one of your organs, or compromising one of your organs, and so on and so forth. So you have to be very, very careful on how you manage this. And that's one of the biggest points that I have learned on how to deal and how I have been dealing with this disease. Needless to say, it does take a toll as age comes by. Your body changes, you get accustomed to things, and the way you manage yourself will take a big toll, a big effect. And I have learned that the hard way. but it is one of those learning curves, and the sooner you learn that lesson and the sooner you apply changes and modifications to your tactics and your reactions, the better you will help yourself. My recommendation is get as educated as you can be, because that will help you. In conclusion, taking care of yourself is of primal importance. Making sure you're on top of everything you do, taking your medications, making sure that your life choices are good for you and that they're always promoting your health is of vital importance. Stay tuned to new coming information. I will be speaking about the in-depth effects that this disease does to you in my life, what it has progressed, and what kind of health issues it has caused me. Next video, we'll get into depth into my medical issues of late, just so that you can get a picture of what kind of threats we all deal with. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my channel. Stay tuned. Hit subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any of the informations upcoming on our date to deal with diabetes. Thank you.